Hello everybody, welcome back to SkyFactory 5, Episode 2. This episode, what I would like to do is focus on this advancement right here. Use Dripstone to convert a block of sand into a dye block. You can place colored water over a dripstone block and point to dripstone, place sand under it, and the light gray water will drip and turn the sand into light gray dye. This is a big deal, as you saw from last episode, because we can take light gray dye and make materials. This also applies for every other dye. The good thing is, if you look at the Age of Automation section, there is actually something called an RGB dye. The RGB dye is crafted by using green, red, and blue. Pretty self-explanatory name, right? The benefit of RGB dye, if you have a printer, it makes all kinds of materials. Granite, gold, emerald, iron, redstone, pretty much every material in the game. What we're gonna do is use the emphasis on the word SkyFactory and make an automation process to automate all of it. So, how do we make an automation process exactly? Well, that's what this video is gonna be about. We're gonna break it down into 3 steps. First is gonna be power, second, an assembly line, and third, a packaging/smelting section. To get started with this process though, the first thing we're gonna need is more space because the island's getting a little bit cramped. Alright, so we got our big red platform. I might have to spend it later, but that's okay. Time to generate some power. So if you put fired crucibles under lava, there is a heat of 7, as you can see at the top of the screen. So if I just go like this, and then I guess I'll place a block here. These will have a little lower heat sources because there's not a direct lava source under them. Alright, and then if I put a chest there with the hopper, I can rebuild a cobblestone generator if I remember how to do that. So now that we have our cobblestone generator generating cobblestone and into this chest, we need a way for the cobblestone to go into the fired crucible without me having to manually click on all of them. To do that, we're going to need these things called item cables, which require copper and brick stairs. Alright, so now we can make a stone cutter, collect a bunch of this brick, place here. We need a brick stairs.
Buzz.
Oh, okay, there we go. Then make item cables. How many do I make? Let's make 32. I think that's a good number for now. Alright, and I almost forgot, but we are going to need a wrench like this, and then here, there we go. And then if I, bam, okay, there we go. As you can see, the cobblestone generator is generating cobblestone. The wrench, it makes this chest extract via this like white square here. Oh my god. Why do I always do that? Then the item cable pulls cobblestone from the chest into the crucibles. The heat under the crucibles burns me to death. The heat under the crucibles burns the cobblestone and makes lava. Alright, now to take that lava and make it energy, we are going to need a evaporation generator. So first we're going to need redstone repeaters. Next thing I'm going to need is a magma block, which I actually got by making this nether painting. I made it in the last episode, I just didn't include the recording. The way that I got the magma cream was going over here and collecting chests. Alright, and now that we're back from the nether, we can attempt to find our magma cream. Here we go. And make a magma block. Then we need to go grab some lava, which luckily we are making plenty full of it over here. Then we can make our evaporation generator. Alright, so the next thing we're going to need is fluid cables. Then we can place our evaporation generator here. And then I can start connecting these with fluid cables. So, the lava that is being melted via the lava under it, or the crucibles that are melting the cobblestone via the heat source under it, and the lava that it is generating is being put into this evaporation generator. And as you can see, we are now generating power. And it's got a cool little animation. Step 1 of our process is now complete. Generate power. Alright. Now that our power process is complete, we can move on to step 2, which is the assembly line. We need a crushing macerator. Alright, so we can take some stone, put it into a stone cutter. We're gonna need, what, 6, there we go, 36 cobble. Let's see. Yeah, so we already have the copper nuggets in our inventory. So there's one crushing macerator. And then we can craft our second one. Bam. So now we're going to need energy cables. Alright, so let's place our macerator here. So what will happen is we need cobblestone to go into this, so let's just do that. Let's make this an extraction point as well. That should fill with cobble. Brilliant. Then we can go like this and place that there. So this will turn cobblestone into gravel, and then gravel into sand. So we can put the energy cables that we made from earlier here, and I'm gonna run them under the platform so this doesn't get ugly quickly. So these guys should be full of power now. Yes, and then this should be working. Correct. Oh! Why can't I see it? Oh, it's okay, it's making sand. I guess you just can't see it because there's so many. Okay, but yeah, okay, so you can see the gravel. The gravel is making sand, which is brilliant. Yeah, so one problem I saw with the crushing macerators is when you put gravel in a macerator to make sand, there's a 5% chance that flint is generated, which happened here. Yeah, okay, so Cyclic has these data cards, which holds items and settings used for filters. So I believe this is what we need. And then I guess... Oh, what the... Alright, so now we have stuff to craft everything. So we get the carbon paper, we've got got the filter guard. Nice. So with our sand, yeah, see, we need a lot of flint. Like, that'll be a problem eventually. Okay, so we want to allow sand. For the other one, we want to allow flint. Okay, so ideally now, flint will not be able to go through this pipe, and it will only go into here. So now that we have sand, let's move on to the dripstone. Alright, so now we need to make dripstone, and bam, dripstone block.
Buzz.
Alright, so now we need to make the dripstone area. Okay, so let's do this. We'll separate this by 2, 1, 2, and then like that. So it's like here, and then there, bam, bam. Let's make sure that's right. Oh! Okay, there it is. So yeah, that's what's supposed to happen. And then we break it. We get red dye, which is great. 54. Alright, and then we put everything together. 9 block placers. Alright, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. 9. Alright, nice. Alright, so now what we're going to do is place all these. So 1, 2, 3. The placers. So now the sand will turn the color and the block breaker will break the sand. We're gonna need a filter on what the block breaker can break. Alright, so now we can craft the block state data cards. So let's make these. Okay, so I can place the green in these 3, and then I can activate them with a redstone. So the idea is now, nice. If I place the green dye, bam, beautiful. So then we could do something like place sand in here, have it place the block. Once this turns green, it'll break. We could go like this, and it broke all of them. Alright, so now we have all of the block breakers with their state card in, which means once these guys turn, they will break the blocks, which introduces us 2 problems. A, once one of these changes and breaks, the block of dye is just going to be floating. So we need a way to pick that up. B, we need the block placers to be supplied sand, which is why we made this. So we need to route some piping underneath. Now we need a collection system, which I think what I want to do is a vacuum hopper. To make a vacuum hopper, we need 3 obsidian, a hopper, and an Eye of Ender. How does one get blaze powder? From the nether. Duh. Okay, let's grab our gear and go find a blaze spawner. This is what I would consider a problem. How far? Oh man. I don't want to die on all this stuff. Oh boy. Is this gonna work? Oh my god. Am I getting closer? Nope. I don't think so anyway. 695. Well, no, I am getting closer. This is so stupid. I don't know why I thought that would not teleport me to a new area. Holy smokes, we're closing in. Whoa. Oh, okay, nice. Saved. Alright, beautiful. So now that our absorption hopper is placed, we should be able to test this out by just throwing this. Good sign that everything is disappearing. Alright, so the next two things we are going to need are a blender and a printer. So we need a machine frame, which requires tin. We take that, make a tin gear. And now we're short one iron. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you actually joking? Machine frame, and then the printer. And on top of that, we can now make the blender, which is a whole bunch of diamond swords. Printer, bam. Alright, so now we can get to the final process. So we can place the blender, we'll just go here. Okay, now you can see the red, green, and blue dyes just chilling in there. They would be making our RGB dye block, but we don't have power yet, which we will supply. Alright, so kind of a funky layout, but I believe this should work. So I believe if I supply power that this entire system should work. So we'll put this in there, and this, and this, and then everything should work now, so I should be able to just... And as you can see, the blender is blending the three dyes together and making RGB dye. Bam! So just to show that this is how this is working, yeah, so the RGB dye is being made like this, then you extract it, put it into the blender, and the blender makes random items, which is really great. So just as a recap from the start, we have our cobblestone generator collected by the hopper, inserted into this chest. This chest is supplying our 4 fire crucibles, which are being heated by lava under it. The cobblestone is being melted by the lava. That lava is then being transferred into the evaporator generator, which is our power. Our power is supplying our crushing macerator. Our cobblestone is also supplying our crushing macerator, which is crushing the cobblestone into gravel, the gravel into sand, and some excess flint production. Our sand is then supplying these block placers. These block placers are placing sand. Once these dripstone blocks drip the respective color that the water is above it, it drips into the specific dye color and is broken via the data card and the block breaker. The absorption hopper is then sucking up any loose blocks on the ground and supplying it to the blender. The blender is mixing red, green, and blue to make RGB dye, which goes in the printer, and the printer prints out resources. So what a fun process. We did not get to do the automatic smelting process / packaging, as I already have enough content for episode 2. So the start of episode 3, we will be doing that. If you have made it this far in the video, I want to thank you so much for watching. Let me know what I should do next in my episode after I build the smelter and the packager. What I am leaning towards is probably a storage system, because as of right now, I'm just kind of making more chests as I go, and it's kind of getting really hard to organize everything. Plus, we are now generating unlimited resources, so this chest is going to get full quite quickly. But if you have anything else in mind, let me know in the comments. Thank you again for watching. Bye-bye.